Hi guys, today I'm going to actually be doing a get ready with me kind of thing. I'm honestly going to just do a makeup look that's perfect for work or going to school. I just wanted something very simple and something that you can wear on an everyday basis. And just to keep it a relaxed way, I'm going to just talk through it and just have a little chit chat. Alright, let's jump in. First thing I'm going to do is prime my face with this e.l.f. hydrating primer. I'm going in for this one because one, it's hydrating, and two, it is actually mattifying. So always do you want to shake this up before you pump it, because if you don't, there's just a splurge of oil that comes out first. I just rub it around on my fingers and then just make it all the way around my face. And moving on to foundation, you can really use any kind of combination that you want. For everyday to work, I don't want to do too heavy coverage because I don't want it to come out cakey, and especially if you're getting oily throughout the day, it's going to start caking around your nose, and you're obviously going to be wearing something that is about 8 hours, so you kind of want something that's long lasting. Today I am going in with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation as well as my CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. Honestly, I started mixing these just because my Healthy Elixir was a little bit too dark for me, but I actually like the combination. One is luminous and one is mattifying, so it is a really nice combination. It's perfect for keeping your makeup on quite a long time, as well as giving you this beautiful finish. All I would suggest is going in with a very light amount, not as much product, because if you do, you are definitely going to get full coverage, and if that's what you want, that's totally fine. But on an everyday basis, I'm kind of looking for something a little bit lighter. It's not as flawless full coverage. I go in more with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and then I go in with that, just like a little bit of it. And I have this handy dandy little palette from Amazon, which I really have been enjoying, because before I used to throw it all over my hands, forget to take it off, yada yada. Make a mess. What is new? I am just a messy kind of gal. I don't know why. I always make a mess. It's not fun. So just to give you kind of an example of what kind of ratio I'm going with, I'm going to start off with that. This way I can get the coverage where I need it the most, and then kind of buff it out to where I don't need as much coverage. I always need more coverage right here in part of my face, especially on my cheeks, so that is where I start. And then I buff it out to the rest of my face. So focusing more so on my red areas, my problem areas, it just does the best for me. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with the coverage that I got with just that little amount. I am gonna go in just a little bit more because I didn't have enough to drag down on my neck, which I always like to do even if it is a very pretty well matched look. So I'm going to go in with about half the amount but the same ratio. Feels so professional with this little palette here. It's so professional. So throwing it back in my problem areas. And then I'm going to also drag it on my neck, just so it seems seamless. I really love this combination because it doesn't look too mattifying, but it also doesn't look too glowy, which works perfect for my skin because I am on the oilier side. So this works out perfectly. And it makes my skin just look healthy and not like I doused myself in a lot of foundation. Does it look cakey, and it doesn't really sit on top of my skin. It kind of melts in with my skin, which I thoroughly enjoy. And if you're having issues with it not really soaking into your skin, I definitely would suggest just grabbing a blender of some type of sponge and tapping it away, because that's where you get that flawless finish. Honestly, that's what I was gonna do if this wasn't gonna work out for me. But honestly, I love the coverage that I'm getting and the way that it looks on my skin. It just looks really healthy, really dewy, and quite nice. So I am definitely going to not use a sponge, but that's what I would do if it didn't work out so nicely. Alright, so then I'm going to be moving on to concealer. I have the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair Beige. This is about 2 skin tones lighter than my actual skin. I like to really lighten up the under eyes just because It is for work, and you want to look as awake and as healthy as possible underneath your eyes. So this is a very full coverage. Honestly, you don't want to go in with too much or you're going to really see that. That's definitely what I suggest. So I'm going to just grab my Real Technique sponge and work it into my skin. I decided to go all over my face just to lighten it up and even out the face. So then I wanted to just kind of set my area, especially where I get oilier. I'm going to just use the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I'm just going to be using a small setting brush from Real Techniques. And this is so I'm able to really get detailed of where I want to have this powder. And I'm not looking to set my whole face because I am going to be going in with other powders, bronzer, blush, that type of stuff. So I'm just kind of looking just where I get oily throughout the day, so I don't look like a powdered mess. So basically my T-zone. Now you can focus on bronzing and putting on your blush. I'm going to just use this Pixie by Petra. This is the bronzer in summertime. I really like this bronzer because it has a very light shimmer, almost like a sheen. It's not too thick at all. And going in with another Real Techniques brush. And then I'm going to also warm up the side of my face. I always do it in almost an L shape, not really a C shape. So I go up and then do the cheeks. And I also do the other side, obviously. I like using this big fluffy brush because it allows me to get more surface area. And it also allows me to get that really nice diffused look. I know when I go in with smaller brushes, I kind of go a little crazy. A huge mark right there. Oops. Easy fix. And I also bronze up just my down here because, you know, want to even it out. Then moving on to blush, I have this Studio Makeup blush in Sahara. I really like this blush because it's a very neutral color, so you're not looking for a bright pink. And I like this for on days like this where I'm kind of looking for a more natural neutral look. And I'm going to work. Perfect. And I like to highlight even when I am going to work just to give me more of that glossy, shimmery look. I really do like to enjoy it. Essence Per Nude highlighter is absolutely one of my favorite highlighters for every day. I love this. It just looks like the perfect sheen, the perfect glow from within, and you can't build it up where you're like, crap, that is way too much highlighter. It's just the perfect highlighter. If you are a highlight beginner, I definitely would suggest using this. This kind of gets your feet wet. You can see if this is something that you're more looking for when you're looking for a highlighter. Because I know when I first thought of highlighting, I thought chunky glitters all over the face, glossy, or just very shimmery. But the highlighters I actually tend to look forward to the most are these ones that just give you this nice sheen and this healthy glow from within. I absolutely love using a fan brush with it as well because it really does diffuse that look. Even though I do it quite sloppily, I enjoy it because I do like that sheen, glossy, glowy look. It looks awesome on camera right now. But in person, you really can't tell. But you definitely, once you hit that light, especially if you're outside with your coworkers, they're gonna be like, girl. So now that we have the full face done, and before I get into my eyes and mascara, I'm going to use Milani Make It Last setting spray. This has a 16-hour set time, which this is good. This is probably one of the best setting sprays I've ever used. And it's drugstore, so you really can't beat it. So this is perfect for work makeup. So I'm going to just toss that all over my face. I always do way too much, but let's bring in so we can do the eyes. Alright guys, so now you're a little bit closer. You can kind of see what I'm doing with my eyes. I'm not doing anything too crazy, just something to really define them, not make them look a little bit more awake. So first thing I am going to do, because I do have oily eyelids, is prime my eyes with this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eye Primer. This guy is good. Be very careful with it, because if you go on too ham onto your eyes, it will get cakey, it will get gross. So definitely be wary with that. The first time I used it, it was a hot mess, to say the least. So I am just going to buff that in with my fingers. That is my favorite way to do it. Oop, now we primed. Sorry, I get in weird moods. I'm like by myself in my house, so I get weird. So I'm going in with the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is just such a solid palette. It's pretty, it's perfect for going out every day. I love it. So I am just going to do something very simple with this palette. So just using the brush out of the palette, I'm going to go onto the fluffier side, this guy, and I'm going to set all of my eyes with Tempera. It's this nice light beige color, and it has actually a nice little sheen, so I like really building it up underneath my brows, so it does less work than I need to do later on down the road. Alright, so now that I have that all set, I'm going to grab a big fluffy brush. I'm using Real Techniques 203 blending brush. This is from their Bold Metallics, one of the best blenders I have used. I am actually going to be going into Golden Orchid, which is this color, and I'm going to be doing that just to define my crease. And if you are a darker tone than I am, I would suggest going right off the bat and going into a different darker tone. Warm taupe, burnt orange, raw sienna, any of those would do great. Just since I am lighter, this is a really good transitional shade for me. Because I'm not doing a full-blown look, but I definitely want to define my eyes. And I also don't want it to just look like I threw just one color in my crease. So I'm just doing that, building up this color as much as possible, so when I do set in a darker color, it blends nicely and doesn't look as harsh. I'm going to be going, after I blend out this, I'm going to be going into a deeper shade. And today I'm feeling Raw Sienna for me, which is that shade right there. So I'm going to be just using the other side of the brush that the palette comes in, and I'm really just going to put it in the outer corner of my eyes and then blend it in. So I'm just dapping it right here in the outer V, just to get that most pigment. And then I'm going to do that as well on this side, get that most pigment on the outer V. And then I'm grabbing my big fluffy brush, and then I'm really buffing that in. I'm just grabbing that big fluffy brush that I was just using and throwing that underneath my eyes just to smoke it out a bit. You don't want anything too dramatic because this is a day look. Just to define that under eye just a little bit more. Sorry about that, my camera actually overheated. So honestly what I was saying was, so you can definitely leave it at this. This has opened your eyes, it's defined it just a little bit. You don't need anything too crazy because you are looking for a more neutral look for work. But obviously I like a little bit of shimmer, so I'm going in with my e.l.f. Prism palette. I really like this palette. It is an all shimmer palette. But you basically have every shade you could possibly want. So I'm going to just use this. I'm not going to go and do anything too crazy, just to put a little bit of shimmer on my eyelid. So I'm just grabbing my Wet n Wild small concealer brush. And I'm going to use the color, I really like this pinky color, so I'm going to go in with that shade. And I'm going to just put that on. And I'm not looking to do anything crazy. I'm not looking for too much color payout. I'm really just looking just for a little bit of shimmer, and that's all I want. Just a little bit of shimmer, a little, nothing too crazy, because I do want to remember that this is a day wear for work or school or every day, to have my eyes feel awake, look like I'm ready to conquer the day, so the boss is happy with me. So I'm going back in with that big fluffy brush that I was using for my crease, and I'm just blending that out so there's no harsh lines. And if you want to add a little something something, you can definitely put an inner corner highlight, which I do enjoy as well. So I'm just using the other side of this brush that I was using for that pretty rosy gold color, and I'm dipping into that very white shade, and I'm just going to put that in my inner corner. Not only does that just look nice, it also makes you look a little bit more awake. Now your eye looks awake. You don't look as tired. I'm gonna go in again one last time because I do like a little smoky outline. And then I'm just going in with a trusty mascara. I love the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. This mascara is quite nice, and I am just going to dose those lashes. Crunch them. I love when my eyelashes look very big, very fluffy, if I'm at work or not. If you're like me and get mascara all over your lid or underneath, just let it dry, don't stress, and then we could clean it up. So once I'm done with my mascara, I just like to add a little bit of eyeliner. This is Rimmel Scandalized Eyes in Nude. So it's just a nude eyeliner. All that does is it really opens up your eye. I am just doing that on my bottom. And you have to be really careful not to get it on your lashes, just like I did. That way it just brightens up, opens up your eyes. You look a lot more awake, more ready for the day. And then moving on to brows. I don't do anything too crazy with my brows. Let's see what I got here. ColourPop Brow Pencil and Dope Taupe. I'm not going to do anything crazy for my brows. I literally just fill them in. Nothing crazy. Because I don't want them to look too harsh. I really just want them to look natural. Especially if I'm going to work or school. I don't want them to look insane. I just fill them in where they need to be filled in. Brush them out so they look a little bit more even. I always set it with a brow gel. I just think that it looks the best. Right here I got Wet n Wild Mega Clear Lash Brow. So this helps just set them in place and have them stay all day. Okay, so then moving on to lips. I love using a lip liner. Right here I just have Urban Decay 24/7 lip liner in Nude 2. This is one of my favorite lip liners ever, and all I do is I really just put this all over my lip. But what I like to do if I want a little bit of a glossy lip, I just grab any lip gloss that I have. This one is actually from Victoria's Secret. It's in Grapefruit Blast, but honestly it doesn't really matter to me. And then I literally just throw that all over my lips. Boom! And that is what I do for an everyday look for work, for school, for anything. If I'm just looking for something easy and just want to look put together but not too over the top, so it's perfect just for work, for school, that type of stuff. So I hope you guys like it. I really like the way that it came out. It just looks a lot very neutral, very natural, but has like a nice little shimmer on the eye. My skin looks glowy, it looks bronze, it looks beautiful. I'm feeling it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you next time.